Hello, family. Dr. Anta here again, introducing to you the third and final episode in our suicide series. This episode will focus on suicide survivors. I will not let you know what will happen. I want you to stay tuned and you will be empowered, informed, and blessed.
Suicide. My views on suicide are that it's a preventable choice with the right support. From experience, suicide was something I suffered with for almost 1 year. The pressures of life, including but not limited to betrayal in intimate relationships, betrayal from close family members, poverty, dead-end jobs, rejection, failed classes. In the midst of you trying your very best, you still receive punishment, such as imprisonment for non-payment of outstanding bills, pleading with the judge to say, hey, I really just don't have anything. They order you to pay amounts you're not even sure you're going to get. Suicide was considered for months while also dealing with depression. I guess for myself, I chose suicide as an alternative because of the endless amounts of negative self-talk, the jokes that ordinary people make on a normal level-headed day was okay, but on the days that you was in a bad space, it made you cringe, made you want to sink right through the floor. You feel so low, and then the negative self-talk starts. You don't create boundaries with people when it happens. You just have your back up against the wall with nowhere to turn. Trust issues because the people you did trust in your vulnerable moments, they let you down, they disappointed you, they hurt you on purpose. They knew how big your heart was, and yet they still chose to stamp right on over it. Because of what reason? Because we didn't create any boundaries. I'm getting emotional because this is such a touchy subject, and I wish people would understand that it's not really a selfish decision when before you even get to this point, you try to reach out to people, you try to talk to people, you try to even let them know that, hey, I'm really not myself and I need help. And you talk, thinking that you're going to get some sort of clarity, only to be told you're dumb, or you're foolish, or you don't love yourself, or you're not trying hard enough, or you're going to be okay. But what happens when you're not? What happens when you are trying your really best, your very, very, very best, and to other people it doesn't look like it's good enough? I guess suicide also stemmed from having low self-esteem, you know? You gotta find the right person, I guess, to talk to. And for me, that was God. Every day was a battle. And I had to say, God, be my strength. Be the light to my tunnel. Help me. Guide me and protect me. I'm not feeling myself right now. So that was me every day for almost a year. But it's preventable. It is. It's not something to be taken lightly when people express themselves. It's not something to sit back and say or pass judgment. It's okay sometimes to say, you know what, I really don't understand your situation, because that's the most honest thing you could do for that person. And ask that person, what do you think would help you? What do you think you need? I can't promise you I'll be there every day, but I can promise you when there are times where you're really, really, really not feeling okay and you feel like this is your moment, you can call me. A lot has to change in society, though. The stigma around it about people being selfish. When they make that decision, you have no idea what they are experiencing. Employers need to treat their staff a lot better. Be more empathetic and understand that yes, this is a job and yes, this is your business, but life is happening. Don't threaten them about their job because they're in compromising situations. You know? Don't gossip. Don't hurt that person even more than they're already hurting. Don't kick them when they're down. That's all the don't do's. People have dealt with so much in their life. Sexual molestation. I've even contemplated going on drugs because I didn't want to feel anymore. I didn't want to feel anything. At that point, I probably, in my mind, wouldn't care who's laughing at me because all I have to worry about is getting high. But I said no because my kids would have to see me like that. So I said maybe I should just do one and done. Just get over it and do it. They will miss me, but they'll know that I did my very best with them. You know? Suicide is a real thing. If you know someone that is hurting or you see that they're really going through a tough time, don't judge them, don't hurt them, don't gossip about them, don't spread their business if they are vulnerable, because you don't know that very moment that they're talking to you could have been a moment that they say, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. So don't be that person. The right supports is a good therapist, a spiritual communication with God, a relationship with God, people who are genuine, learning to trust yourself more than people. It's another thing, because if you trust yourself, then you could trust your judgment, and these thoughts slowly but surely will run away from you. When you recognize that you're giving yourself negative talk, try and occupy your time. I know it's hard. It took me 1 year, even almost going down to a mental institution, but I sought to get spiritual counseling versus regular therapy for my mental health. I started to think about who I used to be and the things I loved, and slowly got back into it. Every job that told me no, I said, well, you know, God, maybe you don't have that for me. It can be preventable, but it takes a team effort. But don't ever think that that person is selfish, because you have no idea what that person is dealing with and how fragile their heart is to even open up to another person, to only be hurt and betrayed and find their business somewhere else, or to be judged. It's not okay. It's not. Be aware of your feelings, but also others. Suicide is a real thing. I can't say it enough. It's a real thing that is preventable. But for people who are just done, they're not selfish for doing it. They're just hurt.
I just want to give you guys a brief little conversation about suicidal. I feel like suicidal is very contagious. I feel like it's a very depressing thing. And a lot of people go through it. I recently had a couple of friends that went through suicidal. And it's not always a side effect. It's like a main cause because of depression, anxiety, loneliness. So like it all builds up. But one of my friends, he used to have suicidal thoughts because he was a very passionate guy. He wanted love and affection, and he didn't really get it as much. So he used to always post and have quotes about love, and no one really talked to him like that. So he was very lonely, always wanted to say he'll hang himself and all these things. But then afterwards, me and my other friends, we had to convince him to like think outside the box, be more productive, and just like let it go. So then one of the things that really helped him was therapy. It was a good talking to. He had little therapy sessions. Mainly PlayStation, like games, was a good thing too because he got his mind off of it. So after that, he started to really come to his senses and like love life. He didn't really care about what people thought about him or if anyone loved him. So he was like really had a side group, a side friendly group. And they motivated him every day. They had fun. And he made like football, so it was a good thing. So he used to always go out, play football, ease his mind about it, and he was on to a better track. And that's my boy. I love him to life. And then I have another ace girl. I think she was mainly like on the anxiety. Like she was very scared about what other people's thought about her too. And she used to cut herself. So I used to always see her in there. She would always have like slits on her arms or like her legs. I never really used to ask her too much about it, but I sat down with her and I was like, why you have these marks? And she was like, well, I hate my life. I hate everything about it. So then I had to like always talk to her, try to joke around, make her happy. And I always used to ask her what was her goals. And she always had that she liked to draw. So I used to tell her like, if you really like drawing, you should make your own business. And you should always draw things that make you happy. So after a while, she used to always say, that's a good idea. I might start like a little tattoo place. And here we are now. She's got her own tattoo place. She's living good. She's not thinking about anything bad. No more cuts. So I feel like suicidal is just like, it's a mental thing. It's not for everyone. It's a bad thing because the smallest thing can make a person think about death, and that's a bad thing. So I just want to convince everyone that you have one life. Try to at least live your life. Don't worry about anyone. Don't worry about if anyone likes you. Don't worry about if anyone talks about you. Like, you're here for a reason. You were born for a reason, and I believe that everyone has a goal to achieve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mrs. Johnson, and I do work in the health department. And my thoughts on suicide is simple. Everyone has their ups and downs. Some people have more downs than others, but everyone express their emotion differently. Some people may be hard to figure out, and some people just like their privacy. A lot of people think of killing themselves. Adults, teenagers, and even kids. Some people, they might start to act real down and depressed, crying all the time for what might seem like for no reason, acting reckless and carefree, sleeping more than usual, or isolate themselves and not doing what they used to love to do. And people on the outside looking in might think they are just going through something and they will be fine. They will get over it, and they ignore these signs. But it is a high possibility that they are thinking of ending their life. It happens more than you think and more than it should. And when it happens, people will say, I had no idea. I thought it was just a phase he was going through. I never thought he would do it. I wish he would have come to me. I wish I had said something. But by then, it's just too late. If you see someone acting differently than usual or seems like a different person, then you should say something. Ask what's wrong or how you can help. When someone is thinking of killing themselves, they do want someone to ask. They do want someone to care. Some people think if they ask a depressed person or a sad person, if they're thinking of killing themselves, then they're making it worse, or they're putting the thoughts in their head. But it doesn't hurt to ask. You might get answers such as, yes, I want to kill myself. Maybe I want to kill myself. Or sometimes I do think of killing myself. Yeah, you will get answers like that. And if you do, you make sure you do not say things such as, you know you're not going to kill yourself. Like, what is that going to solve? Are you crazy? You're just a drama queen. No. Do not say stuff like that. Never tell a person that they're just seeking attention, because you are going to make things worse. What you might want to say is, I'm sorry you're going through this. How can I help you? Can we talk about it? Let's get you some help. Here in the US, there's a 988 number that you can call. The 988 Lifeline provides 24/7 confidential support to people in suicide crisis or mental health related distress. By calling or texting 988, you will connect to mental health professionals with the Lifeline network. If you suspect anyone, loved ones, friends, anyone you know that is having suicidal thoughts, do not, never leave that person alone. Never leave them alone. You can try to get professional help for these people or take them to the emergency room, but just never leave these people alone. Never. Don't take it lightly. The moment they say they're going to kill themselves, do not take it lightly. You might never know. It might just be true. Do not take it lightly. A lot of people with suicide thoughts, most of the time, they do not attempt it. They do not attempt killing themselves, but they have the thoughts of killing themselves, and all they need is the right person just to talk to them. Let them feel different about themselves. They need this professional help. They don't need all that negativity that might make it worse. They don't need a person to tell them they're just being a drama queen. They do not need a person that's going to tell them, oh, you know you're not going to kill yourself. They don't need a person that's still going to tell them, like, what is that going to solve if you kill yourself? No, that's not what they need. They need someone that's going to say, we can get through this. Let's get you some help. Let's work it out. I'm sorry you're going through this, and it's okay. But let's talk about it and just get them some professional help. Take them to the emergency room. Get them some mental health evaluation. They don't need no negativity at this point in their life. Take them serious. Once they say they're going to take their life, take them serious. Whether you think they're just seeking attention or not, never say that to them. Take it serious and deal with it like it is an emergency, because it is an emergency. Once someone's gonna say something like that, you take it serious. You don't stop to think if they're serious or not. You take it serious. You can give, like a child or a teenager, talk to them. Let them know how much they're worth. And tell them if they ever do feel depressed, give them at least 5 numbers that they keep with them, saying if you ever feel depressed, call this person or call this first person, 5 person. Let them keep those 5 persons number in their book bag or their purse or wherever, in their phone. And if they call one person and they don't get that person, at least they have 4 more options, and so they will get somebody. And they can talk to that person. It got to be someone you trust, someone from the church, someone from the health department, someone that is professional, that's going to help them move their mind and their thoughts away from taking their lives.
Family, thank you for staying with us on this suicide series. Just to recap, 3 episodes. 1, suicide and religion. 2, suicide and academics. 3, you just heard it, suicidal survivors and their friends. Now, where do we go from here, and what do we do? One fundamental thing that I need you to know is that you are not alone. Remember, we're a family. We need each other. If you should find yourself in a state of depression, worry, overwhelming lifestyles, life decisions, just reach out to someone. If that person who you are depending on does not respond, then utilize the internet. It's free. If you're religious, utilize the prayer lines. If you're not, utilize the health centers, or again, utilize the internet and contact a counselor or someone you can talk to. Just do not sit there alone. If you have to be alone, make it be a meditation process that you are thinking what to do next to move forward. Move forward in fulfilling your divine mandate, not in stopping the whole process of living. No. So what we are going to do is ask you kindly, please, we, my team and I, please do not sit back and thinking that why do I even need to go forward because of different processes and situations that may occur in your life. Don't make that decision, because someone needs you. Someone needs your testimony. You are going through these obstacles, these challenges for a purpose. Let us hear from you. We need to know that when we face these obstacles, these challenges, these hurdles that life may present to us for whatever reason, that this is how we do it. This is how my family member did it. Okay, I may have to tweak it, customize it, pending, of course, on my geographic location or my religion or where I am from, in a class or culture. But just remember, there's always a solution. Do not leave this earth without fulfilling your divine mandate. Get help. It is available. Remember the eagle. Together we soar and succeed. The time is now. Bless. Bendiga.